welcome to Rajya Television. I am Akhilesh Suman and you are watching Indian Standard Time. Indian Standard Time is a window to the world through which we try to understand a particular country, a global phenomena, a regional issue, or whatever that is related to the world. Here with me is a very special guest who is Ambassador of Armenia in India, Mr. Armen Martirosyan. Welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be today with you.
Ambassador, we are living in COVID-19 times. COVID is affecting and impacting the whole world. And Armenia is one particular country that has also been impacted. But before we come to COVID, Armenia also has a very, distinguished history of fighting for its own pride and prestige. And especially in the month of April, on 24 April, you commemorate the day of genocide that had been perpetrated upon Armenia by Ottoman Empire. So, how it impacts Armenian life and society because of this?
First of all, let me start with global virus that you have mentioned in the beginning. Like mostly all other countries today around the world, Armenia also has been affected and has been investing big efforts in confronting this global pandemic. The government has come up with strategy which is built on three components. The first one is to address immediate issue of breaking the spine of the pandemic, to provide necessary and basic supplies, medical supplies, and also organizing airlift of our citizens from different countries. And in this regard, let me mention that in Calcutta, we have an Armenian Philanthropic Academy with its college, which has been functional for 199 years without any interruption. Very unique education, a very unique institution, educational. And some 10 days ago, the decision was taken by the government based on the request of the parents of these pupils, students, to bring them to home. And we organized a special chartered flight. And I'm very grateful to the authorities of Indian Civil Aviation Agency and also to Ministry of External Affairs, to local authorities in Calcutta for effectively organizing this airlift. 68 children from Calcutta temporarily were transferred to Armenia. The second issue is to mitigate economic consequences of the virus.
Yeah, that is what I was coming about, the type of situation you are facing in Armenia. Armenia is a particular country which doesn't share its border with China. But how Armenians got affected so badly?
First and foremost, it was Italy-related factor as a major locus of penetration and spread of coronavirus in Armenia. It is, it was a coincidence that from the beginning of January, this low-coster Ryanair has established its flights between Armenia and Italy, Yerevan and two cities in Italy. And many tourists, both from Armenia and from Italy, visited both countries. So the first locus of the pandemic, we can define it was Italy-related. As you said, we have no common borders with China, and traffic between these countries. Tourists is also numbers are not very big. So tourism and plus business, because the second locus was Armenian-Italian joint venture functioning in Yerevan, in Armenia. And also some designers and some managers also were traveling back and forth to Italy. And as a result, altogether, today we have approximately 1,400 people infected in Armenia, 1,473 more precisely, and death rate of infected people people is around 1.5%. So we have had so far, regrettably, 24 deaths.
So what is the strategy that your country is adopting? Like you are going into lockdown, you have stopped all travel inside and outside. What is the strategy that Armenia is?
Yes, it is quite similar, to India. Lockdown has been introduced 3 weeks ago in Armenia, and 2 days ago the government took decision, to ease some restrictions in some specific fields in economy. Because Armenian economy is very small, heavily dependent on international trade, and of course, economy has already been affected by this global pandemic. And despite the measures that the government has taken to support small and medium enterprises, nevertheless, the economy has been affected. We feel the heat already. And we expect that this year, compared to the last year, we will have a decline in economic growth. That is why the government, as I said, has taken decision to ease some restrictions.
All right. So your foreign minister was talking to Indian foreign minister.
Yes, day before yesterday.
Talked to Indian ambassador in Armenia. So what is the special cooperation that is going on between India and Armenia in this point of time?
It was the call was organized day before yesterday on April 21st, and my minister was very grateful to the government of India and, of course, to the people of India for the humanitarian aid provided by India. 50,000 tablets of anti-malaria drug. The decision was taken to provide to Armenia, and now we are working on logistical issues. And also, it was a very good occasion to discuss some pending bilateral issues. We have had planned a number of high-level visits to Armenia and to India. Obviously, for the current circumstances do not allow to realize these visits, and it was discussed. So I do hope that by the end of the year, once the situation would come back to normal, we will organize these bilateral high-level visits.
Right. So how do you see the economic situation coming up now after coronavirus? How was before the coronavirus pandemic and how it is coming to be? What do you expect?
I have already said that Armenian economy has already feels the heat of this pandemic. Tourism, especially because last year and the years before, we had a very substantial growth of international tourism. For example, only from India in 2018, we had 38,000 Indians traveling to Armenia. And 38,000, yes. And you just can imagine that these are the last days of the April, and the number of tourists visiting Armenia, for example, from India is very, very, very small. So first and foremost, it is tourism that has already been affected, foreign trade, export, because being a landlocked country, Armenia heavily relies on transportation via Georgia and Iran, and also air freight. So both options are also very, very limited. So the export of Armenian-made good also, suffers. So in general, foreign investment also, it's not the very best times for foreign investment. So altogether, we already feel the heat of this pandemic, economic consequences.
So, sir, you have also been very close to the politics in your country, and people also think that you are also. So, how do you think that how Armenia will reinvent itself after the pandemic, or how it will go into a staggered growth situation?
Can you repeat, please, the question?
I'm asking that how do you think that Armenia will reinvent itself? Because when tourism-based industry is a major industry, and tourism is not going to come up in coming, I think, 1 year or so. How do you think Armenia will readjust?
Yeah. So another very important pillar of Armenian national economy is IT, IT business. So last 5 years, we had annually 20% of growth of IT sector. And this pandemic being a big challenge for economy, but on the other hand, it provides some additional opportunities for development of our IT business. So this is, we feel already, the potential and opportunities. And when I mentioned that the government has come up with strategy to support small and medium enterprises and startups, first and foremost, it refers to the IT sector. And we have, for many years, have been cooperating with international financial institutions, IMF, World Bank, European Bank, Asian Bank. So, and it is obvious that in last few months we have intensified our cooperation with those international financial institutions in terms of technical assistance, financial assistance. So we do believe with that combining, local potential and international assistance, by the end of the year we will stabilize economy. But again, we cannot expect. Last year we had 7.4% of economic growth, and obviously this year the economic growth will be more modest. But we do hope that to take the relevant measures. First of all, in terms of prevention of spread of the virus within the country and beyond the country, and next year, to explore new opportunities for economic growth.
India and Armenia has gone into, and so what is the future of that deal when Corona pandemic is there around?
We have, bilateral relations between Indian and Armenians can be traced to remote antiquity, and they have remained cordial through various stages of interaction. As you probably know, Armenians enjoyed a glorious and peaceful past in India during the medieval and early modern times of history. However, being extremely security conscious, they, regrettably miscalculated the future of independent India. And in the second half of 20th century, most Armenians living in India for centuries, they migrated to English-speaking countries. And as I usually mention on various occasions, the exodus of the erstwhile prosperous Armenian community from their new homeland probably was the biggest misread of the situation. And all the more so, it was not a result of any direct threat or religious or ethnic conflicts or persecutions in India. So the rebirth of independent Armenia in 1991 opened the new avenues for direct contacts between our countries and people. And since then, we have laid down a very strong and solid foundations built on mutual trust and confidence. So
I was asking that recently India and Armenia went into a agreement. India was supposed to supply some defense equipment to Armenia. Is that agreement being implemented or it is halted because of this COVID-19 situation?
we have a very broad cooperation with India in different fields, in education, in different fields. And at this moment, I would rather, refer from commenting this contract.
Okay, sir. But let's come on the diplomacy part. That how is the relationship with Turkey? Because Ottoman Empire was responsible for big genocide in 1950 country. So after so long time, is the situation easy with Turkey or it is still tense? How are you resolving that past experience?
You have rightly mentioned uh, this year on April 24th, we are celebrating 100. We are commemorating 105th anniversary of Armenian genocide, meticulously planned and carried out in 1915 by Ottoman Empire.
Right.
And 1.5 million Armenians, innocent, peaceful Armenians, were killed during, these tragic events. And in this day, many people always, ask why are these kind of events, discussions, and commemoration related events. So the reasons are threefold. First, we gather together to pay tribute to the memory of those who perished. Second, we gather to remind the world that never again should not to be a rhetorical appeal of international organizations or celebrities voiced at Nobel summits and then forgotten. And third, we gather to explore new ways for raising awareness about the Armenian genocide and promoting its recognition worldwide. So, as you probably know, many leading countries around the world have acknowledged these crimes, this crime against humanity. On December 12, 2019, a few months ago, the United States Senate has voted unanimously to recognize the genocide of Armenians by the Ottoman Empire in defiance of the Turkish President Erdogan, whose various political initiatives and steps had come into conflict with the interest of the United States. So thus the US Congress vote has brought to 34 the number of countries who qualified the mass killings of Armenians in Ottoman Empire as an act of genocide. And, using this opportunity, I would like once again to express our gratitude to all those nations. But the genocide is not the only issue in our bilateral relations. From the rebirth from 1991, when Armenia regained its independence, Turkey has been refusing to establish diplomatic relations with my country and unilaterally has been blockading Armenia. So the land border between Armenia and Turkey has been closed since 1991. And to normalize our relations, in 2008, Armenian government has come up with initiative. The political protocols have been were signed then, but immediately after a signing of this protocol, Turkey, violating the fundamental principle of ongoing negotiations, had come up again with another precondition. And so the whole political process, due to the destructive policies of Erdogan, then he was a prime minister, the whole political process was torpedoed. And as I said, there are no political relations, there are no diplomatic relations, but on number of occasions, we always expressed our position. We made it clear that Armenia is ready to establish diplomatic relations and normalize its relations with neighboring country Turkey, but without any preconditions, especially when it comes to the genocide as a precondition, because Turkey's expectations is about assigning to oblivion, this tragic page of Armenian history, which is impossible. And on all occasions, we made our position very clear that the issue of Armenian genocide is non-negotiable.
So what Turkey wants to do for that?
As I said, Turkey first and foremost wants to expect us and international community to assign Armenian genocide into oblivion. And second question or second precondition, it has nothing to do with our bilateral relations. It refers to the Nagorno-Karabakh issue, which is a dispute between Armenians and Azeris, originating before even the downfall of the Soviet Union in 1988, when, according to the provisions of the then Soviet Union Constitution, the people of Nagorno-Karabakh autonomous region, it was an enclave within Azerbaijan. Based on the provisions of the Soviet constitutions, they claimed for the unification with Armenia. Then immediately after the downfall of Soviet Union, Azerbaijan unleashed war against Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, but faced, unexpected consequences when this territory and other territories also came under the control of Defense Army of Nagorno-Karabakh. So the second issue relates to the resolution of Nagorno-Karabakh, which has nothing to do with Turkey. So these are two issues.
I asked that, do you want Turkey to apologize for 1915 genocide?
Yes, of course. We do expect that Turkey should, like as I said, many countries, European countries in North America, South America, to acknowledge, the fact of genocide. Of course, this generation of Turkey and this very government is not culpable for what happened in 1915. But to normalize relations between our countries, this crime of genocide should be admitted. It will help to reconcile. It will help reconciliation of our people.
So you're not talking directly to Turkey, or any talk go on between Turkey and Armenia?
No, nowadays there are no any discussions. There are no any direct talks, between two governments.
Okay, sir. So we are coming to the end of conversation, sir. My last two questions. You also don't seemingly have any diplomatic relation with Pakistan. You don't have any embassy in Pakistan. So is there any specific reason for that?
Again, Pakistan, as I said, like Turkey since 1991, also has been refusing to establish diplomatic relations with Armenia.
Okay.
Again, there are a number of reasons. The most important reasons, reason or the cause that they refer to, it is so-called Muslim solidarity with Azerbaijan. With Azerbaijan supporting unilaterally and unequivocally Azerbaijan in dispute with Armenians over Nagorno-Karabakh issue. Although I would like to emphasize that Nagorno-Karabakh is not confessional conflict. It's not about religion. It has no any confessional roots. But nevertheless, Pakistan refers to this, to this issue. Second, it's also relating to this very day that we commemorate today, to the genocide, because I think they have also some feeling of guilt. Let me put this way, because nobody knows what would have happened in 1971 in Bangladesh had not India come to rescue, people in eastern Pakistan.
Right.
And when we consider these historical issues, we know that legal stories are very often buried. Political and social processes subvert and suppress the findings and the processes of law. Let me just bring one example. With the political settlement between Pakistan and Bangladesh, with the establishment of Bangladesh, for example, the international crimes prosecutions initiated in Bangladesh in the wake of 1971 war of secession were derailed, and the proposed tribunal were aborted. So the same happened in Turkey immediately after this genocide in 1919, 1920, when the military tribunal was established by the government of Kemal Atatürk. So, and the third issue that also on different occasions Pakistani diplomats used to express, it's of course our relations with India, because we, on all occasions, since our membership to United Nations, since March 1992, Armenia has been supporting India's position. We have been working together against very destructive resolutions submitted at the Organization of Islamic Conference. So, these are the major factors that Pakistan destructively explores in our bilateral relations.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for talking to Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you.
Thank you very much.